I'm normally not the type of person to cheer on bad things happening to certain people. But with what's happening with YouTuber ChibiReviews, it's kinda hard not to laugh at this. And I'm more so laughing at the tweets of people laughing at him, if that makes any sense. But I'll explain some context here. ChibiReviews is an anime YouTuber, where he talks mostly about anime and anime news, while also talking about random's opinions on Twitter.com. And you may be thinking to yourself, why are these people cheering on something bad that's happened to him? I'll go over his list of grievances to why people don't like him. Number 1, jerking it to cartoon children.
And I found my lolly of the season.
To some people, this is already a massive, massive red flag. Me personally, I also think it's a red flag. And while yes, it is an argument of morals, but legality isn't the same as morality. I feel like that's a big argument that should be presented. I think it says a lot about a person of whether or not they think that that stuff is okay. And me personally, I've had horrible experiences with these types of people before, but I'm getting off track. That's not what this video is about. 1.5, weird incest remarks. The reason why I say this is 1.5 is because I'm adding on to the weird lolly statements he's made, to where it's also devolved into incestuous remarks, with him initially making a tweet about saying to kiss your sister, which is fucking gross, and I don't need to explain why it's gross exactly. But you watching, you're probably giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying that he's talking about a fictional one, which, sure, but then he's gone on to posting pictures of his actual either niece or little sister, which, from that alone, tells me he should stay far away from actual children if he's gonna talk like that. So yeah, that's a pretty strong reason to not fucking like him from that alone. But he's still got a few more things. Number 2, scamming your fans for a lot of money. Honestly, this is a whole other can of worms, but to give a very, very quick summarization here, ChibiReviews tried to file a lawsuit of defamation against some online harassers for some fucking reason, and essentially made a GoFundMe. It's not GoFundMe, it's that other alternative GoFundMe site, but it's still essentially a GoFundMe to help fund this case, with him initially asking for $25,000. Obviously he didn't meet his goal, but he still met a large sum of $17,000, with him taking down the GoFundMe and giving a small paragraph that doesn't really explain much. And whenever he gets asked about what happened with the money, he would rather block people instead of clearing his name. And I'm gonna be honest, this small little paragraph doesn't really do much to explain it, and all of this is just deflection so that people won't ask for refunds. Again, a valid reason to not like him. Number 3, ICE supporter. I don't think I have to explain what the atrocities that ICE agents have been doing lately. Under this current administration, it's been a lot more hostile with them killing civilians. And this comply or die mentality isn't exactly something that people want to follow, rightfully so. And like I said earlier, this tells me a lot about this person's morals just from that alone. And this is coming from the stuff that hits my newsfeed. There's probably a whole lot more because of everything getting suppressed like hell. And public figures who say they are pro-ICE are fucking scum. And this is all stuff that I was able to find just by digging random searches. There's a whole bunch of other rumors, such as him cooperating with a racist fan base, him being best buddies with known rapist Tectone. There's probably some more that I'm forgetting, but you get the idea. This guy sucks. So now that I've gone over his list of grievances, let's go over the smoking gun that has caused people to go fucking insane on my timeline for the past few days. On the night of February 11th, 2026, ChibiReviews would vaguely post to his Twitter, and I quote, "I wanna die." To his fan base, this is probably a shock. To some, people were celebrating. But we didn't know exactly what the context was here, with later that morning on February 12th, saying that he's fine, he doesn't want to elaborate too much further on what happened, only for a little bit later for him to post a bombshell of him getting cheated on with his fiancée and best friend of 10 years. This is where the lashings would start, and would not end for over 48 hours. 2 days straight of people cracking jokes at his expense, with him getting cheated on, some of which were really hard to not laugh at. Some tweets aging horribly, quickly, with the quote retweets and replies getting flooded with jokes at his expense. Finally getting public lashings for over 48 hours, he would post a response, 2 YouTube videos, and a full big tweet. Well, it's not that big, but I'll still read it word for word.
Seeing how happy it would make my haters if I die, I live out of spite. Also seeing what I've seen today, I'm going to double down too, out of spite. Before I go any further, to those that reached out, I promise to respond and go through it all later. I noticed a lot of pattern recognition from certain groups too today. Always the party of acceptance people, multiple flags, are a big indication too. Certain usage of gifts as well. Animals pretending to be human with subpar intelligence. I am also pro-ICE and I think illegal immigrants should not be in my country. I however do not think they are perfect. If you hate me and want me dead for that stance, that won't change my mind. Now feel free to spaz out in my comments below and call me racist, a cuck, loser, or whatever for common sense takes. All your interactions have made me tremendous amounts of money spreading my name around. So hope that pisses you all off so much. With I bid farewell for tonight.
To respond to this, it's just deflection. Again, this guy's really good at deflecting, and it's really, really funny to just sit back and watch. Now, I'm not willing to respond to some of these things because I feel like I'm repeating certain talking points, but with the whole party of acceptance thing, it's kind of hard not to understand the logic of people being hateful. When you tell certain groups of people that they're awful, that they're scum, and you tell them to kill themselves over and over and over ad nauseum for several years on end from other different people, it becomes a lot more understandable when they stop being nice. And I think you're being a fucking pussy about it too, using certain euphemisms to describe certain groups of people instead of saying outright who it is. It's this whole hoodweep shit all over again. And when you're using these certain euphemisms to describe certain groups of people, it makes it harder for them to feel bad. Especially when it's marginalized groups, because that's what you're talking about here. When you're comparing them to fucking animals. When you're outright saying animals pretending to be human with subpar intelligence. It is a euphemism to describe certain people, and it's kinda gross, and you're being a fucking pussy about it. When you're this reviled and hated on the internet, and something horrible happens to you, don't be surprised when people make fun of you for it. I'll play the Shizzy clip right here as it words it a lot better than I ever could.
If you wanna call me a nigger, just call me a nigger. Doing all the dancing around and all the little nicknames and shit like that to bypass the shit so you could be like, that's not what I said, is mad pussy. Just say it. You still deserve to get smacked in the mouth, but hey, at least you stood on it and said what you meant. Here, I'll say it with you. Ready?
The other thing, he somehow managed to triple down on the fact that he's pro-ICE while also talking about the fact that he got cucked by his own girlfriend, which is hilarious. But there's also two other responses he made. A video called I Lost Everything and another video called Update. I'll summarize these two since they're pretty long videos. The 16-minute video of him talking about the whole situation, going into whole details, which I can't lie, I do feel somewhat bad, just somewhat, because of the things he said and done beforehand. And it's not just one mistake too. Those are just a list of grievances that I know off the top of my head that I was able to find that people have said about him publicly. There's probably a whole lot more that I don't know because the Twitter search function is one of the worst things to use. With the initial I Lost Everything video and the follow-up tweet contradicting each other in terms of tone, again, it's hard for me to feel bad, but I'll stop looking at these two as I feel like I'll end up going around in circles, and focus on the update video that was posted afterwards. This one just goes over how his content's going to be and how he's going to move forward in the future, which I guess is fine enough. With the fallout of everything happening and everyone moving on, ChibiReviews is now going back to business as usual, forever being seen as a laughing stock, because of him being a cuck. But yeah, that should cover all of it. I'll provide updates on the story sometime soon, maybe not, I'm not sure. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all sometime later this week, maybe not, and take care.
Is this too deep for a party? I'm talking too much, girl, I'm sorry, but